Hi guys, on today's tutorial I will be sewing up the Cecilia from Stitches by Christy. It is a fun little zipper pouch, very beginner friendly if you're new to using zippers or making bags in general. This was one of the first patterns I made when I started doing bags, and I still love it. So today I'm making this. I cut the pattern pieces out at 120% on my printer. This is the first time I made it this size. My other ones I've just done at 100%. So I will show you at the end of the video the difference between the 100% size at original and then this one at 120. So let's go over the materials we will need today. Be sure to grab a coffee and get comfy. So we need our zipper tape. I always like to make mine just a little bit longer than what I need. That way I have enough room to when I fold it and everything like that. So that's why this one's a little bit long. And I got this, I will link all of my supplies that I have used in the description box below. This I got from, this is a size 5 zipper tape I got from Wawak, just a black with like a nylon coil. And then this zipper pull is like a rainbow. I'm not sure if the camera is picking it up or not. A super cute little pumpkin. I got this from RCThreadcraft. That's also a size 5. This is my zipper jig that I use for putting on my zippers. It's a size 5 and a 3, so that comes in handy. We got some scissors here, my snips, handy dandy seam ripper if I need it, my lighter. We got some different clips here that I like using. The trusty little clips here, they break often, so I've been trying to use some different ones. These ones I just got from Amazon, like a hair clip, work great for like the holding of the paper, fabrics and stuff like that. And then these ones are a thicker metal clip I got from the Dollar Tree. So nothing too fancy here, use whatever you want. Let's go over our items that we will be needing. So this, you're going to cut out a vinyl. You could always cut it out of maybe like a webbing, cotton woven, anything really. This is going to be your zipper tab. So it's going to basically stop your zipper from falling off at the end. So I cut this out of vinyl, a smooth felt vinyl. This purple I got from Love Creations. So these two pieces are my bottom pieces here. So it will go like that. So my exterior top pieces, this is a cotton canvas that I have interfaced with just a Peloton 101, nothing too structured. I'm making this bag for my friend, and she loves The Nightmare Before Christmas. So when I seen this beautiful print, I was like, yes, I need it. So I got this from a wall drop on J&R Edwards' Facebook group. Super great company, great customer service. They have awesome prints. So there's that. So it's gonna go like this. We're gonna put one piece like this on top, and then our exterior vinyl at the bottom here. And then for my lining here, I'm just doing a waterproof canvas. There's a wrong side and then a right side. The right side looks a little bit darker, but either side you could honestly use. I got this from Fabric Wholesale Direct in a really big yardage cut, so I'm still using it, which is great. So you don't need interfacing or anything like these on these pieces. They have a good structure to them. Okay, the first step I like to do for this is put on my zipper pull. That way I don't have to mess with it further on into the pattern. This will be your hardest step if you have not worked with a zipper before. Now you can use like a pre-made zipper before or on these type of patterns. I have before and I didn't mind it, but I like the style of the zipper tape and the zipper pulls. To me, I think they give the bags more of a nice finish, kind of more personalized. So for me, I like to look at the ends of the zipper tape, and you see how one side is kind of lifted up more than the other. That's where I like to start. So I'm just gonna pull just a little bit, and I take my lighter and I kind of, where it starts to fray right here, just burn it just a little so it's not in my way. Okay. And with our pull here, this is your right side, like the pretty side. Right here is the back side where it's flat. So when you put your zipper in, you're gonna put it in the opening right here. So what I like to do is use my zipper jig. I got this from Amazon, and there's a 5 and a 3 slot. So I'm gonna stick it in the 5 slot. So I place it just like this, where it is, the back is facing me. And I kind of like push it in there, hold it down with my finger. And I'm taking the right side of where I just opened, and I'm kind of flipping it this way. So I'm putting one side in and the other side in. I kind of angle them so they can slide on. Now sometimes you can feel it, and sometimes you can hear it do like a click. Sometimes for me, I just sit here and will pull it and try to get them in there. You want to make sure that they're evenly in there. Whoops. And sometimes that happens too, so that's okay. Some people can put these on just with their fingers. I have not mastered that skill yet, so we're still struggling over here. Okay, let's see if this time it worked. Yeah, there we go. So we have it like this. I'm just gonna chop off my little bits of pieces here that are uneven here. I like to make sure they're even first before I try and sew it or put on my zipper tab. That way I know it's somewhat correct. And that's also why I like to make my zipper tape a little bit longer, so that way if I do have to cut it off a little bit or kind of rework it, I still are within my measurements. Okay, so for me, what I like to do is just kind of put it right there, and then a little bit, kind of let that one sit. And then up here at our top, we're gonna go ahead and pull it down. So you're gonna kind of want to like pull and then pinch like that. Let me see if you can get a little closer here. So you're gonna want to make sure it's curved. So what you can do is you can take a clip here, clip it. You can tape it. You can even use your lighter and kind of cinch the sides there. Sometimes I will baste it just to kind of hold it in place. But for this, I might maybe just try, or not. Kind of fold it this way, and then you're gonna take, give it a little press right there. And then what I like to do is just kind of clip it in place right here. And then I'm gonna take a little basting stitch and just baste right here where my folded part is down. And if I forget to mention, I am using my sewing machine, my domestic sewing machine, a Kenmore vintage old sewing machine with a Microtex needle. For me, that works for this machine. It doesn't seem to get as like sticky or tacky, and it doesn't break as often. So that's what I've been using for my machine here. And my thread, nothing fancy, just the basic coats and cot thread, nothing too fancy. So what I like to do is just place it underneath my presser foot and hold it down with my needle and kind of make sure that it's right where I need it to. And I'm just gonna hand stitch it since it's only like a little corner that I need tacked down. And don't be afraid to use a walking foot, or whoops, it just, and don't be afraid to get a little close to your zipper. It's totally fine. This is just a regular walking foot. There are zipper foots. So try that out with your machine if you want to get that. It just gets it a little bit closer to your zipper. So besides me cutting off my threads here, this is what it's going to look like. So you want it to be like a curve. So that way when we go to do our other side, it's to prevent our zipper pull from pulling off at the top here. Because at the bottom here, we're gonna put our zipper tab. So it will look like this, and it's gonna stop your zipper pull from pulling off. And I'm just gonna go ahead and do the other side here. And we're gonna go ahead and do this on that other side. So like I said, I like to just kind of pinch it here and fold it in. So a pinch and then fold in. And I try and kind of make sure the other side's a little bit even. And I'm working on the wrong side of the zipper because you don't want to see it from your front of the zipper. Sometimes it still pokes through, but just kind of fold it like I did the other side and just kind of cinch the ends here. And then you can go ahead and kind of clip it down like I did with my other side here. And then we're just gonna baste it right here on our machine here, just to hold it in place. Okay, now it's time to add our zipper tab. So what we're gonna do is put our vinyl or zipper tab piece, whatever fabric you used, we're gonna put that, the pretty side, right side down, on top of our zipper that's also right side down. And we're just gonna line up the edges here. Don't worry if some of it, like I made mine just a smidge wide looks like, but it's okay. I'll go ahead and trim off my excess here, but you want it just like this. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna stitch down on top, And then once it's stitched, we're gonna pull it this way and fold it. So then it kind of creates like the stop for our zipper here. And for this part, I like to hold it like close to where I'm gonna put it. Make sure it's laid flat. All my pieces right here are attached. And you can go ahead and go slow. Since you're going over your zipper, you can hand crank if it's kind of bulky for you or you're afraid to pop a needle. Don't be scared to try zippers. So just like that. And you can go ahead and back stitch at the beginning and the end. I didn't because I'm gonna go ahead and fold it over and then stitch it that way. So it'll be kind of double secured. So it's gonna look just like this. And we're gonna fold it right where we just stitched. I like to give it a press with my finger and then kind of fold it back towards the other piece. And since this one's a little bit wider, I'm gonna try and line up as best as I can with this corner piece here. And we're gonna do the exact same thing. So if you see, we're gonna we folded it, we're gonna stitch right on or right next to our fold line. If you use maybe a thicker fabric, you might not wanna do it right on the fold because it might create some bulk for you, but this one's not too bulky for me. Sometimes my machine can't handle bulk very well, so. So see, I'm coming up to my zipper tab here and I'm just gonna take off some of the ease and just hand crank. That way it can go over it smoothly without getting it jagged or messing up my tension. Okay, and now we have like this. So now we can cut off our extra fabric here. So I'm just gonna make sure it's all lined up here. Trim off my little bits and pieces here. And you can even trim down a little bit on the top part here just to keep it clean right there. And there you go, it should look just like that. So that creates our zipper stop, the tab, so when it comes all the way down, it doesn't pop off. So now our zipper is complete. We're gonna go ahead and set that aside and work on our other steps. Okay, now we're ready to work on our exterior pieces. So like I said before, this is my, you can decide which pattern piece you like better. If you like the other side for your front or this one for your front, it doesn't matter because they're both going to be the same, depending on, you know, if you use the same fabric or not, or panels or anything like that. So this is my top exterior piece, and then this one's going to be my back exterior. So this is going to be my main one, and then this one over here will be my back. So what I like to do before I put the pieces together, excuse me, is we're going to go ahead and find our center for all of our pieces here. It just makes it easier. Now you can go ahead and clip it, center mark. You can use a little snips here. You could use a air eraser marker. Sometimes I do that. Sometimes I'll clip it. Sometimes I forget to mark my pieces. So, you know, just do whatever works for you. Okay. So this is what it would look like on the wrong side here, where our center piece is marked. And then we're going to go ahead and do it for our main piece too. Okay, now we're ready to assemble our pieces here. So just be sure if you are using a directional print, like I am here, you want to make sure that you have first cut it out correctly. And then second of all, you were going to orient it so that way it is facing the correct way. So maybe if it was reversed or cut differently, you might have to cut it. So just double check your prints, making sure that they are oriented the way you want them to be cut. Just kind of get off some of the fuzzies here. So what I like to do is place my vinyl bottom right sides down on top of my top exterior piece here. And I'm just kind of marking where I put my center here. And then I clip it on the sides here. So it should look just like that. And don't worry if some of it is a little off. I'm going to go ahead and trim off the sides and the bottom here where it's a little extra. But it should look like this. So make sure your right sides are together like this. And we're going to stitch right here. So I'm going to do the exact thing to my other side. Like I said, this pattern is super quick, super easy, great starter project if you are new to bag making. It's just a great project. I was trying to think of, I don't know what I was trying to think of. Okay, so we are ready to stitch these pieces down, and sometimes with the vinyl, you might not want to back stitch just because it might create the hole in the vinyl if that's not something that you want. For me, it doesn't poke it as bad, so I'm kind of like, maybe I'll back stitch. I don't know. This I might not because I'm going to go and top stitch it over anyway, so we'll see. Okay, so now we have stitched it down. What I like to do is just trim out a little bit of my bulk here, or where maybe got a little uneven. So what I like to do is just chop off a little corner here and just kind of take it where it's not as even. You don't want to cut into your seam allowance because we're going to go ahead and fold it down and then top stitch that. So I'm just kind of trimming off the pieces that are a little uneven. And like I said before, my machine doesn't really like bulk, so I try and cut out as much as I can so I don't get angry. There we go, just a little trim up. Okay, I'm gonna do the same to this side. Okay. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and butterfly it and then top stitch it. When I mean butterfly, I mean open our seams. So it's like this. And this is where you could take a press, if your fabric, allows it. You're just gonna butterfly it like that. You can. There is also where you could fold it down. Even before we sewed it, you could have folded it down and then sewed. Sometimes it just depends. For me, you can fold up your fabric like this and top stitch this way. You can also fold it down. So it would look like this. Let's see. So it would look like this, folded down. For me, sometimes I'll do whatever the pattern suggests, or sometimes if I don't like it, or maybe it's too bulky for my machine, then I'll just fold it down a different way. So we're gonna leave it like that and then go ahead and do our next one the same way. And sometimes for me, it's easier to fold down my cotton woven than it is the vinyl. So we could always top stitch it that way too. Could be easier. I don't know why my interfacing's not sticking to that. Might have to go back and iron that. But yeah, anyways. So we're gonna go ahead and top stitch right here on our vinyl. And then our top and back pieces will be done. And I forgot to say, top stitching is optional. You don't have to. Sometimes for me, I don't, because I don't really, on my machine, I only have 4 lengths. So 3 out of the 4 look the same. So sometimes I don't top stitch at all. When I'm top stitching, I'm just kind of easing it through and pulling, not hard pulling, but just kind of putting my hands on the fabric to make sure it's folded down the way I wanted it to be. And you can take like a little roller or, like I said, finger press, iron to your vinyl and your cotton woven or cotton canvas or anything like that that you're using. Sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. I kind of just go with the flow, so. Nothing fancy on my channel here. So it should look like this, top stitched down, so we could use this as our front or our back. Yeah, no, I think I kind of cut them, yeah, the exact same, so it doesn't matter which one I'll use as my front, as my back. But if you want, you can put on, let me see if I can find it real quick here. You can put different bag tags on, clothing tags. I have a few here I don't think I'm going to use, but just for example to show you, this one says "You are beautiful," so you could put it, you know, down here. You could put them up here. That one was a woven tag. This one is like a cork tag. Yeah, you can put them anywhere. They're also metal tags. Sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. For this project, I probably won't put a tag on it. And like I said, here is a metal tag that I have used before. For this project, I'm not going to, but you totally can. Like I said, sometimes I use the tags and sometimes I don't. It's just, yeah. Okay, time to work on our lining pieces. So we're gonna place one of our lining pieces right side up. Okay, now we are ready to attach our other piece. We're gonna do it the exact same way. So what I clip my other pieces out the way so it's not in the way of my zipper and my zipper pull here. I already found the center points, but let me just do it again here. You always want to make sure to find your center points. That way your pieces are centered. You don't have to worry about them being too off sides. Sometimes it is hard and you can't get them perfect. Sewing is not perfect and neither am I, so. Okay, so what I like to do is just kind of eyeball it first, making sure my pieces are kind of together here. And I'm making sure to clip all three, the zipper, the lining, and my exterior. And sometimes to double check, especially if I was like in a hurry and I did the other side or something, I always like to double check my work. So what I'll do is just kind of flip it open, and I'm like, okay, this is the right side, this is the right side, this is gonna get pulled back. I'm gonna top stitch this. My zipper opens up. Yes, everything is correct. So I always like to double check. So now we're just gonna sew it how we did with our other side here. Sometimes I'll sew it like this, and then other times I'll sew it like this. It doesn't matter, just make sure your pool is not in your way. So I think my audio cut off, but you're gonna take your zipper tape and put it down so your coils are down. So the back of your zipper pull will be facing you, and you're gonna clip your lining right on top of that. And then you're also gonna attach that top piece, your top piece exterior part. You're gonna kind of sandwich those three pieces together. So your zipper facing down, your liner, and then your top exterior on top. And I'm just flipping back that other side because that's where we're going to top stitch next, right where we did the other step. So I'm just kind of pulling down my fabric, making sure it's laying flat.
Other side.
I like to clip on the sides there just to keep it out the way for when I do top stitch. Okay, now that both sides are top stitched, what we're gonna do is sew up the sides now. So what I like to do is just open up my zipper a little bit, kind of make sure that both I have top stitch just to remind myself that I did. What I like to do is take both of my main pieces here, and we're going to align them up. And like I said before, don't worry if one side's a little off. We can cut down and then sew. So I think some of my corners might be a little off. Okay, and then we're just gonna do the other side here with our lining. Okay, so this is what it should look like. We're gonna clip all around everything but down here at the lining. So go ahead and leave a couple clips here. What I like to do, if I can find them here. What I do is put 2 thread clips right by each other. Probably won't be able to find 2 other ones. Yeah, no. Okay, so just pretend these pink ones are red ones. And we're just gonna, so I know to stop right here. So this is where I'm gonna open my bag to pull it through. Okay, so we're just gonna stitch from over here, the corner, not your corners, but from right here and then over to this point. And then you're gonna sew all the way down. And watch out here for your bulky parts. Just go slow over your pieces here. They might be a little tricky. Just go slow. Use your hand crank if you have to. Come all the way down, and then the bottom part sew, and then all the way back up. Okay, so now that we have sewn all of it, I left my red clips here so you can see that this is my opening here. Now what I like to do is start with my corners. I'm also going to trim down some of my, like, where it's not as even as I would prefer it to be. Kind of a little off on the sides here, cut off some string that are everywhere. So I will show you how to do the corners. So for me, I like to kind of puff it out. If I can get my finger in there. I kind of like to puff it out, and I take one side seam and kind of butterfly it. And then I grab that other seam and butterfly that. So I'm kind of matching up my corners here. And then that will, besides this little corner here, this will get stitched. And then my two side pieces right here and right here. So this is what the bottom, the front will look like on this side right here, all flat. And then this is where this side will look, where your sides are all together. So I'm going to do that for all of my corners here. Because remember, we didn't sew shut our bag yet, so we can still turn it out.
Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and stitch up our corners.
And on this step, we can go ahead and trim off some of our our corner pieces here, just to reduce some of the bulk, so when we go to turn it inside out, it's not sticking oddly out. And then we're gonna turn it around. Okay, so let me just take off our clips here. And this is the fun part, seeing where all your mistakes are. No, no, I'm just kidding. It's fun. to see the bag finally come together. You can start seeing it in some of the steps, but this is the fun part for me because I'm like, oh, okay, that's where that piece connected to, or that's what that was supposed to look like. It's a struggle to get it through the hole though, so you might have to, depending on the fabrics that you use, might have to finagle with it. I'm just kind of taking my finger here and kind of poking out my corners here. I might have to go back in and kind of reduce a little bit of bulk. And this is where we're gonna sew it, but I like to kind of fold it back in its place just to be sure I don't have any like weird spots that I might have to fix, besides a little bulky with my corners here. Yeah, so far so good. And I always just make sure it zips before before I'm done, so that way I know I didn't mess up something. And it stands, it looks good, great, awesome. I'm a self-doubter, and I always self-doubt myself, so you will see me question myself many of times. And I kind of push the corners out and on my lining too, that way it fits a little bit better. So what I like to do is just kind of roll it down. Not a lot, but just to kind of encase that. I'm gonna just attach the one right next to it, that way I know to connect it just in case if it is a little off. Okay, here is our finished bag. It's beautiful. I still have to kind of fluff, get in my corners a little bit and give it a better pull, but for right now, it looks great. Like I said before, this is a great project to begin with, bags, or if you make a bunch of them for like markets and stuff like that, that could be fun. Okay, so this is the bag that we just made at 120%. I'm doing a little bit of a close-up so you can see the size. Stick that there for a second. And then this one is the very first one that I have made. It's really wonky on the sides. Yeah, bad top stitching. The inside I finished, but it's not great. I was really surprised the zipper pull has lasted on it. So yeah, but this one is the original 100% So it is, in comparison, a smidge smaller. Let's see if I can prop these up here. There we go. So our 120 back here is obviously taller than the 100% one. Maybe like a side comparison here. So like that. There we go. I just keep the black one, usually by my serger upstairs with like extra pieces of whatnot. Like this one has a zipper in it and just random pieces. So yeah, it's definitely not great, but everyone starts somewhere. So guys, for watching this video. If you could like, comment, and share, that would be awesome. Thank you so much.